Hey everybody, it's LavenderTowne, and today I'm doing a part 2 to my literal bands video, so let's get into it. Alright, first up I wanted to do Glass Animals. Now Glass Animals is a really cool band. I'm very fond of them. They recently got pretty popular on TikTok with their song Heat Waves, but I've been a fan for a while. They have some really strange lyrics that really stick in your head. And of course my initial sort of idea for this is to do the literal embodiment of the band, the Glass Animals. Now I knew I wanted to do some sort of like pattern or some kind of shape because I'm trying to get the energy of the music, and I feel like a Glass Animals song always sounds a little like dreamy, a little like, you know, in the smoky back room somewhere. There's a mysterious vibe to their songs, and sort of a darkness as well, so I wanted to try to capture that with the illustration as well. There's a reference in The Snake to one of their songs, Take a Slice, so I took an actual like slice out of the snake. I don't know if that would necessarily come across without me particularly shouting it out, so I'm gonna shout it out. I really worried about the actual surface of the glass because I've never really drawn glass much before. It seems like something that would be better to paint, whereas I'm usually doing a lot of line art, so I'm hoping that it came across. I tried to use a little translucency, and then I wanted the gooiness in the background to sort of allude to one of my favorite songs of theirs, Gooey, and there's a very strange line in the song about the sticky, gooey womb. Very odd, very interesting. I highly recommend them. Here's a couple of my favorite songs of theirs. Alright, next up is Lady Gaga. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm not gonna be a poser here. I actually don't really listen to that much Lady Gaga. She was really popular when I was a younger teenager. That's when she was sort of popping off and doing all her like meat dress shenanigans and really like everywhere. And I think I just got so fatigued of hearing her on the radio that I developed a bit of a resistance to her music. But that being said, I do think that she's a fun celebrity. She seems cool, and also there are definitely some songs of hers that are so catchy that I feel like even a non-fan has to admit that they're really good. Some of my favorites are kind of her older stuff like Telephone, and I really picked her partially because she was recommended a couple times in the comments of the first video, but also because I thought this idea was really fun. It's a little basic, but you know, like Goo Goo Gaga and Lady, so we have ourselves an aristocratic little baby. I definitely wanted to draw her in some sort of iteration of the meat dress because, man, if you were around for that, the talk was popping off. Everyone was talking about Lady Gaga meat dress, and her legend continues on. But yeah, I really wanted to draw this cute little toddler in a meat dress, holding like a scepter and dressed up all fancy, and I think she turned out really cute. I gave our little baby a little monster stuffed animal because of course Lady Gaga fans have long been referred to as her little monsters, so I had to throw that in there as a reference. I really did appreciate all the avant-garde stylings and stuff of Lady Gaga at the time that she was becoming popular, because I feel like popular culture around that time was really not weird friendly. I feel like nowadays it's really it's a common niche to try to like slip into a weird aesthetic, whereas when I was growing up it was not as encouraged, so definitely appreciate Lady Gaga for that. Here are a few of the songs that I do really like of hers. Next up is MCR, or My Chemical Romance. Now, this will probably give you guys a really good idea of my age, but I actually did buy a CD at one point. It was actually a present for, I think, my 12th birthday. My dad took me to the music store and said I could pick out whatever CD I wanted, and I picked The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. Now, this was a hugely formative album for me, I feel like, and My Chemical Romance has such a specific sound and is so important to the emo kids of today, and it really did have me googling what a chemical is, because while I feel like we all have like a loose understanding of the concept. Like when you really get down to it, it starts to get a little more vague. So chemicals are kind of like anything that's in its sort of basest form, like water or hydrogen. It's not necessarily like a element. It's kind of confusing, but they can be in all the different forms, like liquid, gas, plasma, solid. And it's such a fundamental concept that it's actually kind of hard to illustrate, but I did my best. Obviously we got the romance here, these two sort of clutching each other. It's kind of a reference to this iconic album cover, and I definitely wanted to give a sort of like bombastic, sort of gothic-y vibe, I guess, and I wanted to put them in an apocalyptic city. I didn't want to be too direct with the original reason that My Chemical Romance formed, because legend has it that the idea to create the band was partially because of one of the band members watching the Twin Towers fall from a bus. But I did want to give that like apocalyptic city kind of vibe, like the sky's on fire. It also just matches with the energy of the songs. I don't know if that's really a reference or not, but that's kind of just matching what I think of when I think about My Chemical Romance. I also put them in gas mask coverings. When I think about chemicals, I often think about like toxic chemicals, stuff like in bleach and whatnot. So I thought about sort of protecting them. Also, I think about radioactivity. All of those things I'm kind of like putting into the illustration as best as I can. And I definitely have a lot of My Chemical Romance songs that I really like. My favorites did come off Welcome to the Black Parade. I know that's basic, but that's the truth. And I used to not be able to listen to some of their songs because they made me too sad. So that's a fun fact about me. But yeah, I think I really like how this one turned out. I think the drama of the pose of them together is kind of neat. Next up is Radiohead. Now, Radiohead is a band that's been around for a long time. I kind of got reinterested in them because of their Kid Amnesia, or Kid Amnesia. I'm not actually sure how you're supposed to pronounce it, but they did like a weird like PlayStation 5 immersive experience that you could play through, and you were sort of playing through Kid A, which is one of their albums that I love the most. But Radiohead is most famous for their song Creep. Pretty much everyone knows this song, I feel like. Very Jughead Jones from Riverdale vibes. Sorry, that's not fair to Radiohead. But anyway, I love Kid A as an album, but Radiohead is one of those bands that does make me like sob uncontrollably if I'm listening to them when I'm in the wrong mood. So I have to be careful with it. I feel the same way about certain Alex G songs. I don't know what it is. It's like got a fast track to my tear ducts, but anyway, I definitely wanted to draw a little character. This is sort of my like lemon demon of this video. It gave me an opportunity to do my little character designer thing a bit more, which I definitely appreciate. So we're creating a Radioheaded character. I loosely reference the outfit off of an image I saw of the band. They've been around for so long and have kind of gone through a couple different sounds, I guess, but in general, when I think about Radiohead's music, I definitely think about, especially now, about sort of like a dreamy vibe. Again, not dreamy like Glass Animals. This is like even more dreamy, like literally like you're in a dream. There's certain tones in certain songs that just it feels like you're in a liminal space, or you're floating through space or something. It's really hard to explain, but I tried to capture a bit of that, and I just basically directly ripped off their album art for Kid A for the background. And of course he's crying because I'm crying. I was actually listening to them, to one of their songs while I was working on this, and I don't know why it makes me so sad. Yeah, anyway, I really love how music can like just like fast tracked into your feelings. Like I feel like you have to build up characters for so long and work so hard to get that kind of emotionality out of an audience when you're like writing or like making a comic, whereas like somehow musicians can do that in like 3 minutes. It's pretty impressive. But yeah, for the color palette I tried to keep it relatively monochromatic. There's a lot of images of the bands in black and white, so that's part of the reason I did that. And yeah, I really like this little guy. He looks really sad. And I put some weird fish in the background for reasons that should be obvious. I hope you guys enjoyed this part 2 to my literal bands video. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we hit 2 million subscribers in my little interim. And honestly, I can't believe it. Like, this feels even crazier than hitting 1 million for some reason. It just seems like such a huge number, and I'm so grateful to all of you for being here. And please let me know in the comments if you have any special requests for like a celebration video, or should I do a live stream? I would love to make something special for you guys if you have any ideas. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Huge thank you to all of my patrons, including Birds on a Wire, Emmy Lightning, Rayons, Brandon Stark, Jammy, CB, Crosby F, Lucy Yamajiki, Liv, Salty Jackrabbit, Moose Milk, Ravenscrow, Zocelot, T-Hill Music, Jabber Dabber Doo, Gender Was Stolen, Kadaria, Deadly Nightshade Art, Astral Fox Art, The Expressive Poker Face, Tsubaki, Cutie Pie, Ruin Raincrow, Ice Cream Pal, Cola, JJ Jade, and of course, Blah 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 Blah.